Okay, hello, my name is Elkin Marimon Cardona, and today I'm going to present my thesis research project, which is called The Influence of Teaching Slang Expressions Through the Use of Rap Music in Students' Lexical Competence in an Advanced EFL class at Unica University. Okay, so I'm going to start with the introduction. So this thesis project was meant to provide students from advanced English at Unica Institución Universitaria Colombo-Americana with some of the most common American slang expressions through the use of rap music in the classroom to see how this influenced their lexical competence. Now, this research project contributed significantly to the program of bilingual education due to several reasons. First, students were provided with authentic informal language, which is commonly used by native and non-native speakers. Also, students could raise their awareness about the importance of learning these expressions. And finally, students discover the importance of listening to rap music to learn slang expressions. Now I have I'm going to present the problem statement. So I'm going to start with the background. And it says that when teaching English as a foreign language, some academic institutions only focus on teaching the formal language, and they miss the fact that in the real world, people use informal expressions such as slang. Now, to support this claim, I have this author, Schreiner, 2014. He states when a group of students learn the second language in an academic institution, the aspect of the language known as slang is typically left apart and overshadowed by other matters from the language. Now, the relevance. Learning about slang will help students understand easily native and non-native speakers, right? And also students will feel motivated to learn the language. So to support this claim, I have these two authors, Major Han 2008. They stay teaching slang, encourage students to be more engaged in learning the language, since slang expressions are authentic and they could boost their informal communication skills. Now, specifically at Unica, after a test was implemented to check students' knowledge about slang expressions, it was found the aspect of these expressions had not been emphasized deeply in this course. Therefore, this project was expected to enrich students with slang expressions to see how this influenced their lexical competence. Now, here I have my research questions. So for the first general question is how does the teaching of slang expressions through the use of rap music influence students' lexical competence? Now, these specific sub-questions are, what are students' opinions and views regarding the learning of slang as informal expression through the use of rap music? And the other one is, how was the students' learning process regarding slang expression through the use of rap music? Research objectives, the general objective is to report how the teaching of slang expression through the use of rap music influences students' lexical competence in an advanced EFL class. There's specific objectives. The first one is to report students' opinions and views regarding the learning of slang as informal expression through the use of rap music, and to report students' learning process regarding slang as informal expression through the use of rap music. Now, this is my theoretical framework. I have lexical competence for the first construct, and I have Caro and Rosado 2017. So they propose that lexical competence should be understood as a cluster of knowledge, form, meaning, and use of lexical items, abilities, and skills a person develops and uses in different contexts of communication. And then I have Marconi, 1997. Here gives lexical competence is the ability to use words. So I have these two authors, and basically, yeah, these aim on this part was like to teach students about slang expressions. So they were taught about form, they were taught about their informal meaning and the specific context which yes, they could be used. Now, then I have another construct which is slang. This concept, I have this author, which is Evil 1996. And he defines slang as an ever-changing set of colloquial words and phrases that speakers use to establish or reinforce social identity or cohesiveness within a group or with a trend or fashion in society at large. So basically, we can see slang are informal expressions, so that's why, well, I focus on teaching the slang expression, right, on this project. Now, for the last country, I have rap music. Basically, I just want to clarify that rap is an element from the hip hop. So rap, hip hop is like the umbrella term, and rap is like one element. So I have this author Newman 2005. He said rap is the best known and most widely practiced of the four elements for of artistic expression of hip hop. The other being graffiti art, breakdancing, and DJing. Now, a second author, Silajana 2018, he affirms almost all music genres contain some slang terms in their some lyrics, but not as many as hip hop rap songs lyrics. So for this reason, I decided to choose this genre of music to teach students about slang expressions. Now, here is my review of literature. So I have four main, let's say, studies. So the first one is students' perceptions of English learning uh, by using rap music media. So this other is, let's start 2020. So basically, results from that study shows that students feel happy and motivated to learn English through rap music, and also they feel interested in learning the pronunciation, although they judge lyrics, the lyrics were fast. They enjoy learning through rap, right? And they felt relaxed as well. So what this study showed. Now, the second study is called the views of teachers and students on slang in teaching Turkish as a foreign language. So, and it's by Boilu and Curtis 2020. So this study basically shows that both teachers and students have a positive attitude towards slang, and that basically they said that it should be that is an important topic to teach because in order to have a better communication in social environments. Now, the next study is the pervasiveness of slang in standard and non-standard English by Mattiello 2005, and basically this author points out very key points. Basically, his on this study he said that it is important to teach not only the formal language but also the informal language in academic settings, since, well, as we know, as we are future teachers or students learning a language, we're gonna be able, or we're going to face uh, like real life scenarios. So we're going to speak with native people, we're going to be watching TV shows, we're going to be listening to music, right? And by having this knowledge, this extensive knowledge of slang, we will be able to understand and also communicate properly in informal context. Right now, the last study is lexical competence development through the use of music, of music. So this other is these two, let me see here. These two others are Cardona and Bison 2015, and basically these studies show that actually by implementing music in the classroom, it could be students could develop their lexical competence. So these are like main four studies on my review. Uh, Whereas research methodology, the context was at Única Institución Universitaria Colomboamericana, participants, advanced English students, EFL class, research paradigm, qualitative, and for this one I have Creswell 1994, research design, I have actual research, and I have about these two other, Brown and Parson 2002, to support these, yes, the action research. And I have instruments, questionnaires, field notes, reflections, artifacts. And last but not least, data analysis, which I use thematic analysis, and supported by Brown Clark 2006. Now, I would like to emphasize phases of action research, well, which is what I did during this project. So the first, I'm going to talk about, well, the diagnosis. So at the beginning, I went to the class and I implemented the diagnosis to find out about the students' interest about learning, if they were interested in learning Islam, and also if they were interested in learning Islam through rap music. So I got positive answers from them. So, and also I implemented another diagnosis in order to find out about if they were familiar, if they could use slang expressions properly, right, in different situations, right? And it was found they could use informal expressions. They were familiar with the situation where they could use these informal expressions. Now, for the pretest, what I did basically was I in order to find it, I implemented a pretest. Basically, the objective was to find that how much knowledge they had regarding slang expressions, and it was found they had little knowledge about slang expressions, right? So, in that case, I decided to have a action plan, and I carry out 4 interventions, right? So then through the interventions, I made observations, I collected data, and finally, well, I made a post-test and I basically analyzed or reviewed the outcomes achieved, right? Now, a pedagogical intervention. So the method of teaching was presentation, practice, production. I used and they have this author, Jeremy Harmer, 2009. Basically, I decided to choose this method of teaching because, well, there were 3 phases. The first one was the presentation of excerpts of rap song lyrics. Then there was an explanation of the meanings of the slang words in context. Then there was a matching activities, filling the blanks, true or false activities, and finally, students had to create sentences, conversations, anecdotes using slang expressions, and sharing in class their productions, right? In pairs or yes, basically. Now, thematic analysis. In this research, the method of analysis was chosen was thematic analysis by Brown and Clark, and they accuse thematic analysis a method for analyzing qualitative data that entails searching across a data set to identify, analyze, and report repeated patterns. So the first step is to familiarize yourself with the data. So that's what I did. So I familiarized with the data that I collected. Then I started to generate codes to find patterns, similar patterns within the data. Then the third step is basically I started to search for themes like main topics, right? Like general topics from the data that I collected. The fourth step was like started to review the themes, and I tried to combine them if I saw similar patterns. The fifth step is defining and naming things. So I started to define things, and the last step is the last step is the sixth step is producing the report. So I try to make the categories of the data, right? Now, findings. So for this, I have, well, so far I have 2 categories. So the first one is called students' opinions about learning slang expressions. Some students claim it was an interesting experience for them as it was a whole different way to acquire the English language. Uh, Participant A, to my mind, the experience was nice because it was this different way to learn English. Also, students affirm learning about these slang expressions was very fun and useful because they were able to get familiar with other sorts of more casual conversations, right? Now, these findings these findings are coherent with the results reported by Measure 100 2008 about students' perceptions of a teacher implementing positive slang. They show students like the way the teacher used positive slang because it made them feel more comfortable. Also, they said the teacher's use of positive slang was a unique method to incorporate informal communication in the classroom. And I have these other categories so far, which is students' opinions about the use of rap music to learn slang expressions. So some students claim learning slang through rap was a completely new experience for them because it was dynamic and they could learn more about rap culture. Participants see rap music is close to culture. They use those slangs, and to teach slang with rap is a good idea. Also, some of them did not know rap music had so many slang expressions that they came to realize during the interventions. Participant A, I could notice that rap music uses a lot of slang in a paragraph. Findings from this study are similar to those in a study carried out by Hammond 2015, who wanted to know about the importance rap songs have to promote learning. Participants were Indian students from an EFL, English as a foreign language classroom. In Hammond's study, all participants agreed that using rap in the classroom made a much easier and nicer environment to learn the language because it helped them master English language In terms of their speaking skills, it facilitated the learning of new vocabulary. So conclusions, basically, first, we need to make students aware about this type of vocabulary so that they can interact naturally with native and non-native speakers. By incorporating rap music inside the classroom, students had a more meaningful experience learning slang. Students were motivated about learning through music, and students were provided with authentic slang vocabulary that contributed to their lexical competence. So these are my references. That's it, okay? Thank you so much.